Hi there, Deidre here from Our Upcycled Life, and welcome to my channel. If you're like me, you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the holiday shopping that needs to be done. But don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, we're going to show you some easy, affordable, last-minute Christmas gift ideas that will help you spread some holiday cheer without breaking the bank. We've got lots of work. Let's get started. Looking for a last minute gift that's so easy and affordable to put together? We're going to put a basket together full of lots of goodies and hot chocolate theme items. I've made this first DIY out of a scrap piece of wood. I'm putting together this hot chocolate sign using my Mod Podge reverse graphic transfer method. Printed the graphic off on my LaserJet printer, making sure to reverse the text, and this graphic's available in my Etsy store. Let it sit for 24 hours, rub the paper off, we're left with a beautiful sign. Now I broke out my Cricut and I'm making some graphics to put on a little canister for cookies. Cleaned it up with some alcohol. We're going to apply that permanent vinyl to the top of that canister, and it's ready to fill with cookies that we're going to put in the basket. I found these mugs at the thrift store and I knew they would be perfect hot chocolate mugs. Got my Cricut out again and I cut out the words hot chocolate, applying them to each mug, and they're going to look great in our basket. And these little mugs were 25 cents at the thrift store, and once I put the graphics on them, I think they're just gorgeous. This was another little mug that I found. I spray painted it with some black spray paint, putting a votive in the middle. My Cricut, I cut out a little snowflake that I'm going to apply to the front of it, and we're going to tuck that in the basket also. Now let's put this all together with a basket that I picked up at the thrift store and a scarf that I also picked up at the thrift store that I've washed. It's nice and clean now, and that's going to be the liner of our basket. I'm going to tuck in the cookie canister, the hot chocolate mugs, and a couple packets of hot chocolate. And I found these little spoons at the dollar store. I'm going to put one in each mug. And I also picked up a pair of gloves. I'm going to take the label off because I think it'll look better tucked in without the label on the gloves. Just tuck them into the basket where I think they're going to look nice. Add in a few candy canes. The little candle mug, and the hot chocolate sign. And we've put together a beautiful, affordable gift basket that somebody would love to get that has been thrifted or picked up at the dollar store. I also had these little baggies that I put a couple marshmallows in. I'm just going to tie them with a bit of twine at the top, and they can get tucked into the basket also, and it's good to go. I think this is a beautiful last-minute gift that's affordable that anybody would love to receive. Once it's all put together, you can wrap it all with some cellophane or some gift wrap paper, put a nice bow at the top, and it's a perfect gift. Another DIY that I love to give as a gift are my scrap wood signs. If you've been following along here for a while, you know that I love making these, and they make perfect, affordable Christmas gifts. I've printed off this graphic on my LaserJet printer, making sure to reverse the text, and I'm just using a scrap piece of wood that I've painted with some homemade chalk paint. Making sure that the graphic is exactly where I want it, making sure there's no bubbles and wrinkles, and then setting it aside for 24 hours. Then I'm dampening it with a little bit of water and then rubbing off the paper, and the graphics are going to be left on our scrap piece of wood. These make perfect little stocking stuffers, or you can add them into another gift to finish it off. This is another DIY that I love to do at Christmas time, making personalized ornaments with air dry clay. You're going to need a couple wooden slats, a couple pieces of wire, and I've got some parchment paper. We're going to get out our air dry clay. I love using these wooden slats because when you put them beside your air dry clay when you're rolling, it makes sure that it's even all the way across. I just pick up my air dry clay at the dollar store and it works really well for me. Once I have it all rolled, I have a mason jar lid and I'm cutting out a circle. We want to have a nice smooth edge around that circle, so I just dip my finger in a little bit of water and smoothed it out. Now those little pieces of wire, they're going to turn into a hanger, so I've just poked them through the top of that circle. And I'm going to make 4 of these. Now I've set them aside and I'm going to let them dry, and it takes usually overnight depending on your heat and humidity. Now that they're all dry, I'm painting them with some of my black homemade chalk paint, letting them dry, and then putting some white homemade chalk paint on top of that. I've printed off some photos and some quotes on my LaserJet printer, and I'm just tracing around my circles. I have a picture of my mom and dad, and my son and his wife, and a couple quotes. Now, just like we did our signs, you can also do the same transfer method onto air dry clay when it's dry. We're going to put that onto our ornament exactly where we want it, get out any bubbles and wrinkles, and then set it aside and let it dry for 24 hours. Now once we've gotten all the paper rubbed off, I'm just going to take a little bit of sandpaper and just give it a rustic feel all around the edges, seal it up with some polyacrylic sealer, add a ribbon on the top, and we've made really cute, adorable, personalized ornaments with some air dry clay that are affordable gifts. Next affordable Christmas gift that can be last minute are these pillar candles. I picked this up at the dollar store, and I also got the tissue paper at the dollar store too. Now we're going to put this tissue paper through our printer. So I'm using my double-sided tape and a piece of computer paper, and I'm going to tape some of that tissue paper onto that computer paper so when it feeds through the printer, it's not going to get caught. Now we want to measure how big we want our graphic to be for the candle. So I've measured it out and then printed it on my tissue paper on my LaserJet printer. You can also do this on an inkjet printer. I've got it cut to the size that it will fit around the pillar candle, and now I'm getting some wax paper. We want to place that graphic on the candle exactly where we want it, and then wrap it up with that waxy paper, making sure that the waxy side is on the inside of the candle. Scrunch up the wax paper so it's nice and tight around that candle, and then you can get out your hair dryer or your heat gun and melt that tissue paper right into the candle, and you've got a beautiful quote on a pillar candle that's a perfect gift for the holiday season. I hope you've enjoyed today's last minute affordable DIYs that make perfect Christmas gifts. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. And if you love this video, I'm sure you'll love either of these next two. Take care.